We're back. World, Bob, I can't even say world premiere because I'm a couple of shows in. I'm a couple of shows in this mother, you know what. But hello, people. How are y'all doing? This is the Black Raspberry Radio talk show. I'm going to say talk show. On S.STREET Media through live365.com. We're back in effect, and I want to jump straight in on something because, you know, today's show, I'm going from 1977 to 1990 with these records that I pulled out the crates. Because some of these records were mine, and some of these records is my mother. No, I'm going to go with my sister. It's two of these in the back. That's my my mother's records, and thank you, brother. And I'm going to say those last two is the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack and Chic, which had I Want Your Love on that album. But what I wanted to talk about, what I found out, I was looking at the news, and the Black American woman is back inside the news again about health. I did a stint in the HIV department for 8 years. You know, it was a clerk, but I still had to file those documents. And there was a movie back in the 1970s. I'm the spook by the door that loves to read. And that's where a lot of respect came in with those Russians that they have, or Russian Jews or Asians or whatever, or people from around the planet Earth that comes into this city and get jobs very quickly. But they had a line of respect. They had a line of respect for me. Hold on, y'all. I want to read this to y'all right quick. I got this off of Google. It was Google. It was Bing, because I see Microsoft. They owns the trademark to the article. It says the American Cancer Society is trying to find out why Black women have the highest death rate for most cancers. They're saying most cancers. What's most cancers that I can remember working inside the HIV clinic, STD clinic, Fort Greene, Chelsea, and Harlem, and the clinic that was over there on Riverside, and the Morrisania clinic. A lot of Black women coming out of 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, cervical cancer. And a lot of those women, when they would get those pap smears that the women does get, you got abnormal and you have normal paps. A lot of those women had chlamydia. And chlamydia does not come out that way, how the way gonorrhea would come out that way. And, you know, I'm going a little off with it, but I'm just letting you know cancers that can be inside a Black American woman's body. And in this article, they also say that they want to gather up 100,000 Black women to do this study. And the states they gave was Alabama, California, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, New York, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, New Jersey, and North Carolina, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, Washington. That's a lot of fried chicken, I guess. Maybe it's bad eating, because they also mentioned the breast cancer and stomach cancer. So maybe we're not eating enough vegetables, or we're just not, a lot of Black American women is not going to the doctors, or you going to the doctor too late. And in here, they know they written that it's that stigma. It was that Tuskegee experiment that's been passed down in talks through generations, that for some reason y'all want to wipe us the fuck off the planet. That Black American, I'm not talking about nobody else. Y'all got your own voice for where the slave ship dropped off the other Negroids, where they at. I'm talking about the Black American. For some reason, I just feel that this world, y'all hate us so bad. And to destroy us, you can destroy the Black women. Like I said, just years ago when I was working for HIV, it was Black women led the charge in positive HIV test. That's the number that the CDC gave, the Center of Disease Control. That's where all the diseases they give that tally there. or they're the doctors that when they shoot the order out, everybody in the land must follow because the president appoints the head of the CDC. You see how that guy Fauci, what things that he had in the health organization, whatever what he said, Fauci, it dictated, wear a mask. Everybody went on and wore masks. But like I said, for some reason, if you want to destroy a race, you stop it from birthing. You niggas is already out there killing each other anyway. Us black American men, we love killing each other. We love that shit. We love putting that shit in songs. Killing. And it's like my son said, but Dad, what about the music from your time? And it's like, you're right. I love Coogee rap. I love Biggie Smalls. I love them. But when you reach the age of 41 years old and you start listening to that shit, it's like, oh my goodness. We done brainwashed the destruction and you brainwash the destruction. And when you go, I'm going surfing through the internet and then they telling how these big corporations, because a big corporation has so many conglomerates within the corporation. We are a money-making engine. Like somebody on the block, he's selling weed, he's selling coke, he's selling crack, he's selling dope, he's selling crystal meth, he's selling pills. He got all the fucking drugs. Same way how a corporation would work. We're owning different conglomerates, and it's like, damn, you're telling me you own the record company? And you own the jail? And you got money in liquor? Damn, it's a liquor store. We got access to music at any free will we want because of these damn phones. YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, you get to hear what you want to hear. But it's like, damn, the conglomerate got all their money into this shit, even the pharmaceuticals. But in any case, will 100,000 black women join this study because they want the study to last for 30 years and they're looking for women from the ages between 25 to 55 in this study. And I'm going to get on the path and see like, where is this going to go? Did this word reach down to those elected officials in my neighborhood like Latrice Walker? And that other fine one, I can't think of her name, but Darlene Mealy, her. Did this word make it down to y'all that they want to do this study on black American women? But all praise we do to the black American woman. And we're going to get off, so much to politics and what I opened this segment up because I wanted to talk about that because we need to be enlightened, not so much enlightened, enlightened and educated and receiving the information by any means necessary because I say that if I was to put in position to be in a standing army, I would be known as the Minister of Information. I'm not the gunman. I never was the gunman. I was always the one that people would come and get the information to. But like I said, today we're going to go on a time warp and I'm going to mention these albums, these vinyls that was downstairs in the crates. Some of the vinyls is not in here, but they in the crates. And this one right here, En Vogue. This album right here came out in 1990 and their lead single was Hold On To Your Love. And I remember for some reason that year, that is the summer of 1990, everybody's doing the bus stop. Every time that song came on at the block party, whether he was in a Masonic temple, people just went crazy when En Vogue came out with Hold On To Your Love. The album went platinum. They're on a record label called Atlantic Records. I have my friend, Miss J, she used to work up there at Atlantic Records in 1995, and I had sent her a text saying that I know that you seen this album hung on the wall down there at Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers owned Atlantic Records. This one right here, Tony Terry, When I'm With You, and Head Over Heels was the singles that was released off this album here. Epic Records, CBS Records. This was the same record label that had Brother Michael, Epic Records. I think at this time, what would Michael Jackson album be out? Damn, do you remember the time? The Dangerous album would have been out at that time, which, you know, it didn't sell as many records as Bad, and it didn't sell as many records as Thriller, and it didn't sell as many records as Living Off the Wall. But to me, do you remember the time? To me, is Michael Jackson's best song. To me, to my ear. Babyface. What year? 1989. 1989, but this record came out in that winter of 1989, going into 90. Because I was in high school. I'm in the 11th grade at this time when I bought this vinyl. My dad gave me some money, and the lead single was off here was "It's No Crime" and "Tender Lover" and "Whip Appeal." He had 3 goddamn charting songs. If you're 51 years old, you turn to WBLS. You turn to the Quiet Storm on 98.7 Kiss FFFM. You know, I'm gonna tell you, in my early stages of my life, I actually wanted to be a radio jockey. I wanted to work on Damn It MTV growing up as a kid, because I was one of the only Negroes at the time that had cable. I had wireless cable, and I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. But yeah, this album right here, like I said, you had "Whip Appeal," "Tender Lover," and "It's No Crime," and all 3 of Babyface songs was on here. And if you look in the back, you see LaFace Management, which later on became LaFace Records. That's your TLC. That's your Usher. That's your Goody Mob. L.A. Reid and Babyface, you know, they cashed in. One of the biggest R&B albums of all times. And back in my day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You only had like 10 songs, because the 11th song is the "Don't Be Cruel" prelude. And it's like they had 8 songs on the album, but damn sure they would try to release 6 of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? They put, you know what I'm saying? They put that weakest one on the B side, but sometimes the B side always was better than the A side. But Bobby Brown, he had "Don't Be Cruel," "My Prerogative," "Roni," "Rock With You," "Every Little Step." Those was the ones. The other ones wasn't released. But "My Prerogative" is produced by Teddy Riley. And when I'm looking at the back of this album, you see that it was factual. It was some guy named Gene Griffin that robbed him, because Teddy Riley's name is not on this album. And "Don't Be Cruel," Roni, and "Every Little Step," you know who that's produced by. That's produced by Babyface. You can hear the sound. Babyface had a sound that you can pick up, and you could identify with the first 4 bars. You just hear it. They just had this shit where, whether it was Karen White, Pebbles, The Deal, Bobby Brown, After 7, his brothers. He had 2 brothers, I think, in that group. After 7. That was one of my favorite albums. I always remember when that song Ready or Not came out. I'm in the 11th grade, and that song is on the top of the charts March, April of 1990. I remember it so much in detail, because it was this kid that he wanted to be down. Let me tell this story before I get to the New Edition album. He wanted to be down so bad, and I have said this repeatedly because it runs across my mind. And I tell my kids, you do not have to fit in with those motherfuckers that's out there. I think that you need to take the word of your dad and your mom. We came through the motherfucking HIV crack cocaine era. I have post-traumatic spiritual fucking effects of you seeing people getting gunned down in the street, literally, you down the block, and you seeing your friend getting his whole shit torn out, to you seeing your friend's mother look like she was in fucking Somalia with HIV. Because back in my day, if you was fucking, you better be lucky. You better be lucky that you are alive today from that fucking time in the 1980s. 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, before they even came with protease inhibitors, before they even came out with that medication to slow that fucking virus down, which it leads back to why is it that black women got this fucking disease? The best way to stop a race from reproducing is to stop it from being birthed. And then again, we put these guns and we allow these guns and we allow these fucking drugs to come in. We ain't particularly drop the bag off, but if you see Snowfall, it looked like that. With that CIA op was in that series, dropping off that shit, and we're destroying each other. But back to my son, let me reverse it back. You don't have to fit in with nobody. A lot of my friends, I have a lot of friends, whether they alive or may they rest in peace, a lot of them went up in that jail cell for long periods of time of their life, whatever good reason, because they wasn't bad to me. To the world, that's a whole new, different, other fucking story. These are my childhood friends with that I ate grilled cheeses with, went on a free lunch fucking line and playing fucking skelly. So it's a different kind of, if that's what you do, this what I want to do. You don't have to follow that trend, but let me move it up. It was this guy named Kevin Gant, and I will never forget this name. And he got kicked out of my school, maybe with Dean Bacon, but he got transferred to Westinghouse. Westinghouse was coming to bum rush and rush my school. You know how that Decepticon shit was going. You had all different fractions of Decepticons everywhere. But in them days, motherfuckers was rolling in packs, going up to other people's school, beating them up. So this one day, Kevin is walking with my best friend off my fucking block. And one of my fucking other friends from out of Howard fucking Projects, may he rest in peace too, Keefe, from Barcelona. And this motherfucking nigga that befriended me, because he said, Lorenzo, you ain't down. You ain't smoking no blunts, and you ain't drinking no 40s, and you ain't cutting no classes. You ain't cutting nothing. You don't do shit. You're square. I'm like, all right, you don't want to be my friend? That's all good. Couple of weeks later, you're walking up to me with my fucking friends, with a mob of 50 other fucking Deceps behind them, and they walking up to me, and everybody scatters at my school, and I'm just standing there. The leader of pack is my fucking friends. And he was getting ready, to fucking hit me, and he was like, yo, up, we in here. And it was such a shock that he's looking at me like, you see, I ain't have to do none of that. 2 weeks later, he got shot in the back of his head, got into an argument with some Decep dude or whatever. The guy went to hit him in the back of the head with the gun, and the gun is loaded and got his fucking brains blown out. So that's why I remember After 7, Ready or Not, being on the charts at that time. Let's get off that. New Edition. 1988, and as you seen the movie, this guy left. Bobby Brown left. When he came out with Mr. Telephone Man, and I remember when that song came out, because I'm going to go back to the New Edition. When that song came out, Mr. Telephone Man, and he's screaming at the end of that song, help me out, please, Mr. Telephone Man. He's hearing himself. I know he did, because we all was in the fucking room like, he's killing this song. I'm in the 7th grade? 1984? This shit since 1984. I'm in the 5th fucking grade. I'm 51 now. I'm in the 5th grade. Maybe going into the 6th grade when this album came out. New Edition. And that song, Mr. Telephone Man, came out because Bobby Brown is singing the lead on that thing there. He was feeling himself, which it was one album or maybe 2 albums that came before this Any Heartbreak album. And If It Isn't Love, the first time I seen this shit was on Video Music by All Praise Be Due to God for Ralph McDaniels for releasing them videos on that UHF station, because our time having media back in them days was horrible, because you did not have outlets. We had maybe 13 stations on the regular, and if you want to go click, 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 you better have some fucking antenna or a coat hanger with some aluminum foil back there to get your station right. But this right here, New Edition, they had two good songs on here. If It Isn't Love and Can You Stand the Rain? And that was one of the songs that here in New York City, you had WBLS and you had Kiss FM 98.7, which damn it now is owned by ESPN and Sports Radio. That was a black station years ago. And they would play this song. This would be like the song when they throw this rain sound and they'll come and play this song. I'm like, damn, I want to grow up and I want to do that. Like I said, the New Edition album, this album had You Got to Cool It Now and Mr. Telephone Man. And it's crazy because I'm looking at it. This is a 1984 release. B Street didn't even come out yet. B Street, not B Street, no, B Street is out. Crush Groove did not come out yet, which Crush Groove New Edition is in that movie, which they should have had New Edition on the cover of that damn movie because they definitely was in there. Another one of the greatest albums of all time. Janet Jackson's fucking Control is out at the same time as Whitney Houston's first album, and Whitney Houston's album is another one of the greatest quote-unquote R&B albums, greatest pop albums that came out at that time. She sold a lot of records. The bitch won an award twice for the same fucking album. And I remember my mother said, let me see that Whitney Houston album, broke that shit and threw it in the garbage. So don't play that shit in here no more. Because Anita Baker was out with Caught in the Rapture, that album. Which it was the rookie album, but it should have been the album of the best year. Control. 1986. This came out when I was in the 7th grade. January, February, March of 1986, this album came out. Produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Control. Nasty. That wasn't released. The Pleasure of Principle. That's when she's dancing in front of that damn mirror. And Funny How Times Fly. Funny How Times Fly was one of the singles on here. And this was another one of the songs that they would play for the slow jams. Back in my day, I tell you. Funny How Times Fly. That was one of the songs that was played. How many more minutes we got, Brother Mav? Speak to me, brother. 7 minutes. Oh, like I said last week, I don't care. Whether you black or white and you a certain age and you play this album, if you at a Negro barbecue, a white barbecue, a Spanish barbecue, and you got some older people that's there and you want to satisfy the older people, and like I said, the older people that were in the clubs, the older people that was in the clubs when heroin and cocaine made this change of dominance, which that boy ain't never going nowhere. Dog food don't go no fucking where. That drug right there been out since Billie fucking Holiday, and that lady was on that shit. Miles, that's their prerogative. I'm just saying. The people that is in that age bracket from 70, let's go from 70 to 80, and you subtract 40 years. This album came out 1978, 44, almost 46 years. This album came out. I've been staring at this album for 46 years in my mother's house and her crates of her albums. And this album had a lot of damn stuff. Staying Alive, which is always sampled by the Bee Gees. How Deep Is Your Love? If I Can't Have You. Jive Talking, KG, the Calypso Sound, Disco Inferno. You got a lot of songs on here that generated. If you want to talk publishing rights, whomever. Which I'm pretty sure that the Bee Gees wasn't fool enough to sell their publishing rights for a fucking Cadillac. No disrespect. Because when you hear some of them stories, it's like, God damn. But the people just didn't know. They didn't know. I think corporations, before I go to this last album, one of my last favorite albums that I love, and I loved as a kid and seeing my mother and my aunties and I'm stuck a little bit. like I said, let me just go to it. The Chic album, excuse me. I'm sorry. I just got lost in the thought thinking about my mother and her friends, and a lot of those friends passed away too. A lot of those aunties too, and I'm sorry because it just took me to a place like wow. Growing up in Brownsville, and the music is so timeless, and it's like sometimes when I listen to the music, it sends me into a thought, and I start motherfucking crying. I cry at the job. It's just that music. They say music soothes the savage beast. They even said that the devil is the god of music. Fuck all that. I love Coogee Rap. I love Biggie Smalls. I love the Bee Gees. Top 10 albums, right quick. Let me throw this in here, man. Excuse me for spitting, people. Top 10 albums that I like. The Bee Gees, Saturday Night Fever. Parliament and Funkadelic, Flashlight. That album, I have that in the basement. I think that album has The Mothership. That was the song that Dr. Dre and them sampled from. And Ice Cube, all them West Coast dudes. Of course, Biggie Smalls, Ready to Die. Of course, Into the 36 Chambers. I'm not going to say Life After Death. I'm going to say Life After Death, America's Most Wanted, The Death Certificate. It's so many albums in particular that I'm so happy today that you have the access to listen to what you want to listen to and when you want to listen to it. Because let's just say back in the days you had a tape. Them tapes used to pop. I ain't even talking about the 8 tracks. I got a couple of 8 tracks that's in my in the basement. But your tape was always popping. Like damn, and you try to fix it, open it up, put some tape on it, splice it back. That's why some old school people say they hated analog because they had to splice those fucking things and loop it in. Because I was listening to Eric Sherman, and Eric Sherman was talking about my last album I'm going to talk about is Chic. Le Freak was the lead song on there, and the other song was I Want Your Love. Timeless music that at any given time, if somebody is doing a movie, you will go to these albums, but you're going to have to pay a hefty goddamn penny to get clearance on them. But the 30-year rule is up. A lot of record companies right now don't have control over these musics no more and these sounds. The actual artist does. And it's like independence is a motherfucker. That's why Universal got a lot of money inside Spotify. A lot of these streamings, they're owned by, it's a conglomerate. You throw your money and shit and you invest it. But in closing, I'm going to say it again. Black women, I guess it's going to be on y'all if they do the study, which y'all going to do the goddamn study any damn way. Where if you won't have 100,000 black American women sign up for the study, y'all still going to collect their blood. You're still going to collect it and do it. And it's like, we need to take care of our health. And it's easy me saying that. That's why I always say we need to plant doctors so the people will feel comfortable going to see the doctor. I don't really feel comfortable. I really don't when somebody else is examining me. That's just me. And you could be a better doctor than that black one. But that's me being educated, and I'm going to feel your ass out. Like I said, I'm not going to come in here for my finger is swollen and you want to tell you want to do eye surgery. And shit like that has happened. To my son, I shout you out. You better listen. Take heed of the word. I took heed of the word. I took heed of my mama's word and my grandmother's word, Ice Cube's word, Farrakhan's word, and made my own plate out of that pot of stew of knowledge of what's right and what's wrong. So, motherfucker, you better wisen the fuck up, okay? In closing, y'all, I would like to say peace out, be safe, and be damn it safe. And that's it. Peace out.